Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Leadership Void Podcast. I'm Enrique Vince, my co-host, and one more time coming to you with some great guests. Today we have one all the way from Maryland, and we like to travel here on this podcast, and so we're going up north again, and I'm gonna let Vince introduce our guest.
Oh yeah, thank you, Enrique. I'm so excited today to have Miss Monifa Caines, also a fellow alumni of Dog Tag Inc. So we're so excited to have other ties together. But she is here speaking of her ventures in our entrepreneurship as the CEO of Queen of Spades Styles. So welcome, Monifa. We'll just kick it off and just tell us about you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel welcomed and I'm so proud to be here today. Well, my name is Monifa Caines, and I am the founder and CEO of Queen of Spades Style. Now, a little bit about me. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised there. I went to the illustrious Howard University and studied nursing and graduated and became a registered nurse. Then I felt like I wanted more in life. So I joined the Air Force and I did a couple of things in the Air Force. I was a registered nurse, then I was a section commander, and then I was a wing executive officer. I spent 8.5 years in the Air Force and they were wonderful. Off to work in corporate America, held various positions, learned a lot. But for the most part, I learned that I wanted to be in charge and create my own destiny. A lot of things evolved that just was the universe was telling me, you need to start your own business. And so here I am today.
That is wonderful, and I tell you, uh, that you went from a profession to the Air Force to your own business is astounding. So tell us a little bit about Queen of Spades Style.
Mhm. Well, Queen of Spades Style came out of a necessity and turned into my passion. While I worked in corporate America, I decided to stop putting chemicals in my hair. Now, for some of you that don't know, my hair is very curly, and I put a chemical that is called the relaxer in my hair. And I would do that every 46 weeks. So basically, this chemical is very, very strong because it takes my curly hair and it straightens it. One of the active components in this is lye. Lye is very strong. They use it in battery acid, or, if you want to decompose a body, which I'm sure you both have done before in the past. But putting that on our hair, I got so many burns in my scalp. Parts of my hair was falling out. My hair was unhealthy. And I would do this month after month after month for years, for decades. Finally, I said, I'm over it. I'm over getting these burns. I'm over hurting myself every month. So I stopped putting the chemical and started to actually learn and see my hair that I haven't seen for decades, my own beautiful hair. I started coming up with nice, cute styles. And one day I decided to braid my hair. I braided my hair. I went into work, fine, no problems. And I worked in corporate America. So I was a little leery of how they would accept me with my braids. Then, after I took my braids out, a manager walked by my desk and said, "You took your braids out." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Good, now you look professional." So within that, it's saying that I wore braids, even though I wore my braids and I put in a bun. Or what did he think about my own natural hair that grew out of my head? I did not feel like I was accepted for who I was, because they tell you bring your authentic self, but do they really mean it? I've had a few comments said to me that I won't get promoted, or that's not the look, or if you see all the other people on the wall of management, there's a certain look. I've held various roles in different corporations, and still the hair that grew out of my head was not accepted. So I started to go to stores to see if I can find things to zhuzh it up and just have a different look. And I couldn't find anything in the stores for my hair. And I'm not just talking about head wraps, I'm talking about clips, I'm talking about hair combs, I'm talking about little accents because they were all for thinner hair. So I started making my own hair accessories at home for my texture of hair. I had a lot of friends that were also going to them through the natural hair movement and asked me to make some things for them. In the end, I loved creating, I loved helping, and I loved seeing women say, hey, my hair is beautiful and I need some accessories for it. So then I turned that necessity that it was at first to a passion to create for more people, because what I plan to do is change the narrative of what's beautiful.
Well, out of a necessity grew, the Queens of Spades styles. And just to caveat something and put a disclaimer, I have, and I don't think Enrique has decomposed any bodies. but, but
Yes.
but it's interesting, just one piece of our whole being is, could dictate how other people's
Yes.
perceive and the
Yes.
necessity of Queen of Spades style, which is a strong name.
Yes.
And how are you all? I know you're doing some pivoting, so how are you holding up, and what are you currently doing to make you profitable and going forward?
Mhm. That's a great question. How am I holding up within COVID? Because I started my business in December of 2019. So I was getting everything together, everything ready. And I was going to come out on the scene at a pop up on March 14th, 2020, which was the same week that COVID really took over the nation and things were shutting down. I had all this inventory in my apartment, didn't know what to do. So COVID has taught me to always be ready and have, of course, from the military learned plan A, B, C, D. But this was a different plan. I had to pivot, revamp, because COVID was not even in the stratosphere. So doing everything from home, not being able to go out and pick my own fabrics or meet suppliers or go out there and teach people how to wrap their hair or to show them what to do with their hair with certain accessories, that was a whole different game. So what I started doing was having Zoom parties and showing people how to wrap their hair. Of course, meeting with my suppliers, becoming more of a team, also reaching out to organizations and having something like a girls' day where I show them what I have in store, and also have hair wrapping parties for them. It was a different way to outreach my customers and also learn what they're looking for. So I couldn't go out and teach them, but they still had accessibility to me. Thank God for technology that we can Zoom, we can FaceTime, we can Google Meet, and also just going online and making videos, having live videos, reaching out to people to let them know I'm still here. But the way I do business right now is totally different because everything is online. But the way I reach my customers, customer service does not change. But how I reach them more in this technical age has, because I can't get out there and touch and hold them and show them. So it has to be face to face, one on one sometimes, that if they need that personal attention from me, to teach them how to embrace their authentic selves.
Yeah, I love this entire story from the moment that you were deciding to go on this venture and the reasons why
Mhm.
in leadership, which we will get into here not too far from now.
Yeah.
In leadership, and you brought up a point. Do you really accept for who people are, right?
Yeah.
Do you really accept them? And the notion that you can't be your true, authentic self to fit a mold or something that has been caveated as the look. It just kind of tore me up while I was listening to you, because this is why we are in this Leadership Void podcast, right? These are the things that we like to address, and thank you for bringing that up. Now you've come a long way here. You're pivoting, and you're making some strides. So what's on the horizon for the company?
Well, what's on the horizon is through COVID, I have learned a lot of lessons. And I took a step back because I had to revamp the company, Queen of Spades Style. When I started, my company was called Queen of Spades Natural Hair Accessories. I know it's a long name, but then there were so many things that my customers were talking to me about and different accessories that I felt like the company we pigeonholed ourselves because we're starting to go into other things like bags, matching bags, not just stuff for hair, but hats, soon t-shirts and everything that speak to the culture, speak to vibrancy. There's a style that comes with Queen of Spades style. So we did not want to pigeonhole ourselves. Plus, locking down my suppliers and my team that I can go forward and be comfortable with because I can't fly out to certain places right now. So it's really reining it in. Remember why I started my company and how we're going to develop and grow in different steps. So right now I'm doing a launch. We're going to launch on January 30th, 2021. I'm so excited because it's all new stuff, a different array for women and men. And I'm looking forward and I'm so excited because this is about say walking into a room when you have something from Queen of Spades style and saying I'm here, but without actually voicing it.
Wow. Well, it's still hitting me about being your true authentic self. And what I'm also hearing from you, which we're going to talk about, is the value of leadership. And one thing you exhibited was your listening skills. You
Yes,
listen to your customer, you
yes,
value them, and that's one thing that's always resonated as leaders are developing and moving forward in either in crisis or in normalcy. So thank you for sharing that. And let's talk about leadership. Let's dive in and ask you this question. What professional development areas do you work on to improve your capabilities as a leader?
mm, thank you. Well, because I started off as a registered nurse, I really honed in on my soft skills at that time because there is no customer like a sick customer. So talking to them and getting them to back to where they used to be is another realm of delving into how to approach the person individually. I am still learning. You never stop learning. And in fact, I still look at people that really know customer service and really know people because behind every individual, I like not to just say, oh, I'll group customers together, but it's listening to see what they're looking for, what they really want, what they can do, what they can't do, and helping them get to where they want to go with your products. So I do listen to a few podcasts. I love to listen about customer service, speaking, um, pitching, because a lot of pitching is so important. That to me, I'm really honing in on that right now. A lot of times when I pitch, I'm not pitching to someone that looks like me. So, how do I take those 5 minutes and translate what my company is, why it's needed, why is it important, and what it can do for the community to somebody that has no idea what I'm talking about? So pitching is an art, and especially to people that are foreign to your product. I also am getting into logistics. With having a company with products, that is very important. And international logistics too, because I have some things that are made in Africa. So a lot of things that I'm catering right now, I'm trying to learn more about, reach out, and I have mentors and really study what I need to know to to improve the processes that I put in place.
That's marvelous. I'm thinking about your journey from nursing in the medical field to your armed services
Mhm.
or armed forces service, and then your entrepreneurial journey. And along that whole route, I'm sure that you picked up some nuggets of wisdom
Mhm.
for people who are going up in leadership. And you mentioned that in the armed services, you
Yes.
ended up being executive officer of the wing,
Mhm.
and those are pivotal
Yes.
leadership roles that are needed to for you to have a great background in leadership. But what about those that are emerging now? What can you tell emerging leaders, something that you learned that will, benefit them?
Right. First off, I always say find a village. I have come into a group of people, Vince, as you know, through dog tag that not only are friends, but if I need a question answered or to vent or to talk to someone that's like minded about business, I can. I am also part of Veterans Grow America, which is veteran entrepreneurs. And we meet every week and we talk about certain things on the horizon, issues. And that is also a village to me. I don't think it's possible for a lot of people to be so successful just guiding themselves. You need different thoughts. You need to bounce things off. You need to just get a clarity check sometimes, or somebody knows how to build a better mousetrap. So I will say, first of all, try to find that village for you. Also, get educated. It could be through the Small Business Administration, it could be through fellowship programs, it can be through just groups online, but get educated about what you want to do because it's important, not just to sit there and think you know how things are going to go, but these people that you may encounter that you'll become friends with and network with have done it, have made some mistakes, and had some failures and can help you along your journey. I myself have had a mentor that when I started told me I was going to fail. And that's not what you want to hear when you first start, but it's true. And I have failed. I failed a few times and I've only been in business a little over a year. But because I know how to fail fast, I can go on to say I eat failure for lunch when it pops up because I have to turn that around quickly.
Wow, you eat failure for lunch. You heard it first from Monifa Caines here, folks. That's a great quote. I love it. And that's true. No one gets it the first try or half the time, or 98% of the times. The light bulb was done at like 1,001.
Right. Thank
So so
yes.
so true. But speaking of that, that drives us into challenges. Um, you yourself have handled a lot of challenges. You gave some great advice about finding your village. But
Mhm.
how do you, Monifa, handle challenges you faced or currently facing?
Well, I have to, when I come across a challenge, first of all, I'm very much into forward thinking. There are certain challenges in your business you can see coming up, whether you check the climate of the economy, you check what's going on with COVID, you check what's going on in the world. Are people going out? What are they focusing on? I even check the amount of relaxers that are being sold to see if people are still going towards natural hair. There's a lot of challenges you can see coming up, and forward thinking so you can plan for that is very important. There's some challenges that are just going to pop up. And when those challenges pop up immediately, I have to stop. And I believe in, if it looks like it's going to turn for the take a turn for the worst, like to fail fast or stop it before it can happen, I sit back, I think about what I can do, but not for the moment, for today, tomorrow, next month, and how I'm going to build on it for next year. I don't like just putting band-aids on it. Sometimes there are a few things you may have to, but you have to revisit to see if it's sustainable. But for challenges that pop up, I will take a moment, see what I'm going to do, how I'm going to pivot, turn, reach out to people, let people know this is going on, especially if I've heard they encountered this before, and just seek help. Part of it is learning from other people and then deciding what's best for you and your route and your company and how this is going to look 5 years from now.
Now, I tell you, I love what you just said in its totality. But
Yes.
the strategy behind who's using relaxers,
Yeah,
look, I'm telling you, that right there is gold, because if you could pick out what people are doing and where they headed,
that's
you're
right.
going to be on the winning end. And
That's
so, talking about strategy, and that's one of those, um, what strategies can you share to help people deal with change, because we're dealing with it almost on a daily basis.
hmm hmm Well, I've gotten a list of websites from the Small Business Administration that if you want to learn or check up or see the percentages, the demographics, and this on anything, whether it's in your business, something you may get into, certain states, certain cities. I definitely am kind of analytical that way. And when you're talking about strategies, you've got to do the research first so you can plan. I'm not going to invest in a certain amount of products if I know for certain areas the research isn't there, that I can go somewhere and it will not sell at all. So, strategy wise, it starts with research with me. But there's so many websites, and there is a list from the Small Business Administration that you can do your own research for whatever business you have or products you have or getting into.
Absolutely. Doing your research, honing in your pitch,
Yes,
listening to your clients, all those are valuable assets and attributes all leaders should have. So thank you, Monifa, for sharing those with us and sharing your story about being your authentic self. It's
yeah,
great to hear from you. And for those who love to reach out to you and or to learn more or to get some of your products as you going into your relaunch here on the 30th of January. How do they contact you or Queens of Spades Styles?
well, I love that question. So we're launching on Saturday, January 30th, 2021, and the website will be open and available that day, that morning on January 30th. And it's queenofspadesstyle.com. And if anybody wants to email me, please do. It's hello@queenofspadesstyle.com.
Outstanding. And folks, we will have that information as part of the video or the text, so that you can reach out to Monifa and her company. Doing great things, by the way. I love what you're doing. I love the infusion of, hey, here am I, have me as I am, right?
Yes,
I just love it.
that's it.
And so we'll make sure that people can contact you. If you want to contact, those listeners want to contact us, the leadership void at gmail.com is our email address. You can send us questions. You can send us things that you would like to hear on the show. If you'd like to sponsor us, hey, make use of that email.
Mhm.
And if you like for us to wear swag, we would
Yeah,
love to represent veterans doing great things. So hey, just send it our way. But it has been such a pleasure to have you, Monifa, today. And I'm gonna let Vince take us into the next section. But it has really been a blessing to listen to you.
thank you.
I totally echo the sentiments Enrique mentioned. It was a pleasure, and it is always a pleasure to have great leaders come on our show and speak about their journey and their 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 tips, their advice, their challenges, and be authentic and be humble about it. So I thank you again, Monifa, for that. And as folks, as we know, we are continuing our national tour. We're going next to New York to interview a great CEO. You'll find out more next week. But again, for those who have subscribed to our YouTube channel, thank you for that. Our goal is to reach 100 by the end of this month on the 31st. We are currently at number 72. So for those 22 of you, thank you, have entered into the drawing to win a leadership book called From the Prairie to the Pentagon. And for everyone else, there's 25 more of you, 27 more of you. Come on over. We need you by the 31st of January. So thank you so much. And again, one last pitch is for Radio Check. 1st and 15th of every month at 7 p.m., 1900 hours, a live segment. I heard you heard it first on the 15th of January. Battle Buddy Check, live radio checks. So subscribe, Radio Check. But today we honor you, Monifa, for being here. Queens of Spades Style, 30 of January is the launch. Much blessings, much future endeavors and blessings in your journey.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me today. I had a wonderful experience.